My name is Arfan. Is one thing I never told anyone, not even my closest friends. It is about a letter. A letter I wrote but never sent. Wrote it on a rainy evening 3 years ago. The sky outside my window was gray, and the drops of rain made tiny rivers on the glass. I sat at my desk, staring at a blank page. My pen shaking in my hand. Had so many things to say to her, but my mouth would not say them, and my heart did not know how, so I wrote them down. The letter said, "I miss you, I am sorry. I hope one day we can talk again. I hope one day you can forgive me." When I finished writing, I folded the letter carefully and placed it inside my old diary. I told myself, tomorrow I will send it. But tomorrow came and went, and the day after, and the day after that I never sent it. Life has a way of moving on, even when your heart stays behind. I went to work, met friends, smiled for photos, and told people I was fine. But every night, when I opened my diary, the letter was there, silent and heavy, like a secret that refused to sleep. I began to wonder, what would have happened if I had sent it? Would she have replied? Would she have smiled? Would she have forgiven me? I didn't know, and not knowing was worse than a no. Her name was Aisha. We had known each other for years, since university. She was the first person who made me believe that someone could understand me without words. But life is not always kind. We argued over small things at first, like who would choose the movie or what restaurant we would go to. Then bigger things, dreams, careers, family expectations. One day, the argument became two big words turned sharp. Silence followed, and just like that, she was gone. No goodbye, no second chance, only the letter in my diary, waiting to be sent. Some nights, when the house was quiet, I would open my diary, not to read the letter, but to remember Harry. Remembered the first time we met. It was in a small bookstore near our university. I was holding a book of poetry. She was looking for the same one. Our hands touched for a second. As we both reached for it, she laughed softly and said, "You take it. I've already read half of it." That was how it began, not with fireworks, not with a grand moment, just a small touch and a quiet smile. University life was busy, but we made time for each other. Late-night coffee runs, long walks across the campus, sitting under the old banyan tree, talking about dreams. She wanted to become a writer. I wanted to start my own design studio. We promised to support each other, no matter what. "Promise me," she said one night, looking at the stars. "Promise." "What?" I asked. "That we won't let life make us strangers." I promised, but promises are easy to make and hard to keep after graduation. Things changed. She moved to another city for work. I stayed behind, trying to build. My business calls became shorter. Messages became fewer. One day, we had an argument, not about anything big, but our words cut deep. "You don't understand me anymore," she said. "You're always too busy for me," I replied. After that, silence grew between us like a wall. I thought it would pass. It didn't. In the weeks after she left, I wrote more letters, not just 1, 5, maybe 6. Some were long, some were only a few lines, but I never posted any of them. I told myself she wouldn't care. I told myself it was too late, but deep down, I was afraid she had moved on, and I was just a page she had already turned. 3 years after the letter, I was back in the city where we had first met. My work had grown, and I had been invited to speak at a small design seminar on my last evening there. I decided to visit the bookstore near the university, the same one where our story began. I told myself I was only there to look at books, but maybe a part of me wanted to feel close to her again, even if only through memories I was walking down the poetry aisle when I heard a soft voice. It was a voice I knew. I turned. There she was, Aisha. She hadn't changed much. Same calm eyes, same gentle smile, only a little older, a little wiser. For a moment, I couldn't move. My heart raced. My hands shook. Should I say something? Should I leave quietly? Before I could decide, she looked up and saw me. Arfan, she said, almost in a whisper. We stood there, staring, both unsure what to say. Finally, I managed, "Hi, Aisha, it's been a long time." She smiled, small, polite, not the warm smile I remembered. Yes, a long time. We talked a little about work, about life, about how fast time passes. But the words I wanted to say, the ones in the letter, stayed stuck in my throat. When we said goodbye, I felt it, that same ache I had carried for years. But this time, something inside me refused to let go. I turned back and called her name. She stopped, waiting. "Aisha, there's something I should have told you a long time ago." Her eyes softened, as if she had been waiting to hear it all. Alongi stood there, looking at Aisha, my heart pounding. "There's something I should have told you years ago," I said quietly. She didn't move, didn't speak, but her eyes told me to go. Oni took a deep breath. "I wrote you a letter once after everything. I wanted to say I was sorry. I wanted to say I missed you. But I never sent it. I was afraid. Afraid it was too late." For a moment, there was only silence. Then Aisha smiled softly. "Arfan, why are you telling me this now?" "Because," I said, my voice trembling, "I don't want to regret it for the rest of my life." She looked at me, her eyes glistening. "I waited, you know," she said, "for a letter, a message, anything. But when nothing came, I thought you had moved on." "I hadn't," I whispered. "Not really." Her smile grew warmer, the way I remembered. "Then maybe we both waited too long." We went to a nearby cafe, the same one we used to visit after classes. We talked for hours, not about the past, but about who we had become. There were moments of laughter, moments of quiet, but no bitterness, no anger, only understanding. When we finally stood to leave, Aisha said, "Maybe life gives us second chances. Maybe this is ours, whatever it means." I never gave her the letter. I didn't need to. The words were no longer trapped on paper. They were finally spoken, and I learned something that day. True courage is not writing the letter. It is finding the strength to say what your heart has carried for years. Sometimes the words we never say weigh heavier than the ones we speak. Fear of rejection, pride, or the thought that it's too late can keep us silent. But love, regret, and second chances remind us of something powerful. Courage is not found in waiting for the perfect moment. Courage is in creating it, by speaking from the heart. If there is someone you miss, someone you owe an apology to, or someone who deserves to hear how much they mean to you, say it, write it, call them, meet them, because life is short, but words spoken in truth can last forever.